I think it's really good to get in the habit of thinking of the salad as the center of the plate on which we add a portion of protein or bread or carbohydrate along with it, but that if the center of the plate is fruits and vegetables, that really gets to some of the basic nutrition behavior change that we're trying to encourage people to think of, is really make that the center of the plate and add on those other great ingredients in lesser amounts to enhance that fruit and vegetable base.
Salad is making a comeback. From expanded offerings at restaurants to increased consumer demand, salad is becoming more than a side dish. It's taking center stage as a main meal. As a result, consumers want salads that are filling, healthy, and delicious. On today's Sound Living, the benefits of adding salads to your diet. Sound Living is a weekly public affairs program produced by Research and Extension at Kansas State University. I'm Jeff Wichman. According to a K-State Research and Extension nutrition specialist, consumers are widening their view of what a salad is and what the components might be. They're also working that into new forms of brown bag lunches. Sandy Procter says there are many benefits of eating salad, including the fact that it helps us consume more fruits and vegetables.
The number one thing that we preach about and we hear from almost every direction is we don't get enough fruits and vegetables in our diets, any of us. And even those of us that make an emphasis of that probably aren't going to suffer if we have a few more. So focusing on salads in whatever form we have it allows us to really emphasize those servings of fruits and vegetables. And if we do that for our brown bag lunch, for example, then we're probably able to think about maybe a more traditional or my plate looking plate for dinner. That may not be what everybody does, and some of us have salads twice a day. But having that salad and those increased servings of fruits and vegetables early in the day allows us to really take stock of where we're at when we're putting dinner on the table.
What are some of those other healthy reasons for eating the salad?
There's 4 that are really sort of highlighted when you think about salads. And the first one is we eat salads for the fiber. We need fiber. It's important that we increase fiber. Most of us don't get enough in our diet, and it all works together. We want increased exercise, increased fiber. It keeps our systems healthy and really can prevent some of the common chronic diseases of the day. Colon cancer and some of those really have to do with not enough fiber in the diet and not enough exercise. And so salads are a good source of fiber. So that's number 1. Number 2 is just what we were talking about, really the health benefits of fruits and vegetables. And the exciting thing about that is there are the basic ideas we know about fruits and vegetables, eat an apple a day, those kind of things that have been around forever. But more and more we're finding out some real specific, wonderful health protective qualities of all those colorful fruits and vegetables, particularly when we're looking at the phytonutrients, the chemicals in those colorful fruits and vegetables that really take on some of those oxidative properties, some of those things in our body that are negative and can cause cell aging. Some of these colors not only are great to look at and appetizing, but they also have a really important chemical property to fight chronic disease.
What are we looking at for number 3?
Number 3 is one that probably weighs heavy, pardon the pun to be here, on a lot of our minds. It's easy to cut calories and increase our sense of fullness or satisfaction when we're talking about salad. And this is one that, as much as I think and focus and work and talk about food, always surprises me is I can have a serving of salad or a main dish salad and always think, I'm still going to be hungry. And it never, ever is the case. There's something about that volume that just is very satisfying. It's very filling. And so we do find if we're careful with the ingredients and careful with the add-ons, we can really cut calories and have a very satisfying meal.
And number 4.
This kind of maybe sounds the opposite of what I just said, but when we eat salads, we can build them to have the smart fats. The smart fats are the monounsaturated fats, particularly like olive oil, avocado, nuts. Those are the kind of fats that really, if we're going to put fats in our diet, those are really nutritious. And so many of the salads we see featured now in restaurants have the option of adding avocado, or if we're building them for our own, sometimes avocados are on amazing sales. This is a food that I had to teach myself to like. It's not one that particularly was a favorite of mine. There was something about its green and texture that just really got to me. But it's one of those things that I decided was worthwhile my learning to like because of all the nutritional qualities it has. And one of those is a very healthy fat, and it's got a really nice sense of satiety, too, because it is kind of creamy. But yet it's not like sour cream in its fat, which is a saturated fat. It has this healthy plant-based fat that can really add a lot of nutrition to your diet. Same thing with nuts, although I never had any problem with liking them, but they're a great thing to add to a salad, to add to the top of cereal. That kind of healthy fat added is really important.
It seems like kale is kind of the flavor of the month. It seems to be what's really popular right now, but you still got just the basic romaine or iceberg, all sorts of lettuce.
Absolutely. And we do think that those colorful vegetables really have a lot to offer. So spinach, romaine, those more colorful ones might have more nutrition, although there's a little bit of nutrition that's important. Iceberg lettuce has choline in it, for example, which is a really important nutrient at certain stages in our life. But a good rule of thumb is to start with a healthy, colorful base. Another thing that's interesting about those smart fats is all of those dark greens, that's vitamin A, and it's ready to be absorbed into the body. And if you have a little bit of fat with that, like from avocado or nuts, or a little bit of dressing with a fat base to it, that's going to help increase the absorption of those fat-soluble vitamins in the salad. And that's what vitamin A is and vitamin D and some of those nutrients that are ready to be absorbed in the presence of just a little bit of fat in the diet.
You kind of touched on it, but there are a number of ways then once you kind of have the lettuce picked as really the base, then you've got all sorts of options when it comes to especially the protein aspects.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a meat salad or egg. It can be beans. It can be cheese. There's all sorts of options. And today we're seeing a lot of additional vegetable type proteins offered. Quinoa is a grain that is very high in protein and can add a lot to a salad, both texture and interest. It's kind of crunchy and adds an interesting flavor to it, but it brings a lot of protein to the plate as well.
We mentioned the fact that this can also be part of your brown bag. Are there some things that we should keep in mind from a food safety perspective when we're doing the salad, I guess really at home and if we're going to take it to work?
Well, absolutely. All these parts definitely need to be kept well chilled. There's really only one salad that is warm, and that's a traditional German salad, potato salad, and that's kind of a warm salad, but the rest of them really benefit both quality-wise and food safety-wise from being kept very cold. So you'll want to carry your brown bag salad with some sort of ice pack with it, whether that's a frozen juice or water container or just an ice pack that they make so many different kinds for lunches, and then refrigerate it just as soon as possible. It's probably one of those things that the quality is going to be better as well as much more food safe if we keep it chilled until it's ready to eat.
Is there any preference as to whether the salad dressing should be applied when you make it or later? I guess it depends on what kind of salad you make. If it's a Caesar salad, you'd probably do it at the same time. But
right. And that kind of gets into one of these things that I think people might be interested and maybe have seen out there on some of the food and related type websites, mason jar salads, where it talks about you layer the ingredients for your salad in this logical order, and that is put that wet part on the bottom, so the dressing goes first, and then you separate that with other ingredients, and that can be whatever you choose, but keep it separate probably from those lighter weight leafy greens that are going to be up a little bit in the strata that you're creating, and pack your lunch in this wide-mouth mason jar. And you can basically use any size, but the beauty of this is that dressing goes in the bottom, and then whatever ingredients you choose, and you can see the layering, you can make it any size you want to. It's easy to transport. It's veggie rich. You're going to get a good proportion of the vegetables that we are encouraging folks to have just by building that. And it can vary every single day depending on, if you have canned beans or if you decide to put in little cubes of some vegetable that you might have or fruit. You could have a combination fruit and vegetable salad. The sky is the limit. And these mason jars with the wide mouth, they keep cold. The glass makes chilling easy. And the other thing that is really being seen as an advantage, even though it is carrying a glass jar around, is that the glass doesn't absorb the flavors. So you can carry balsamic vinegar today on your salad, and tomorrow you can have a whole different flavor with a ranch dressing at the bottom, and those flavors aren't going to blend or absorb into a plastic container because glass is totally non-porous and ready to wash up and use the next day.
And you get that tight seal from the lid as well.
Yeah, it's just a regular canning-type jar that may have the connected lid that flips over with the ring so that everything is safe and not going to leak out. But then when you get to your lunch site, you can basically open it up and stir it up and enjoy.
Now, if you want to switch things up and you don't want to have lettuce every day, you kind of mentioned that there's bean salads, there's fruit salads. Anything that we should know in terms of maybe what makes a good bean salad or what makes a good fruit salad? Because sometimes if you mix different kinds of fruits together, it takes on a little bit different flavor.
Sure, and you'll want to do that probably judiciously and learn those favorites that you like. And sometimes you may just want to use the fruit as just a plain or dry ingredient. Like you have a vegetable salad, say, that's spinach in base, and you have maybe nuts of some kind, almonds or something, and maybe a poppy seed or some type of balsamic dressing. And you may just want to add a layer of cut up strawberries, which are good right now. And so it could be a combination, just build it as you like it. Or maybe this week you're going to try avocado and strawberry together for a flavor mix. And so I think really the sky is the limit, and it really allows us to do whatever looks good at the market or at the farmer's market and build our salads from there.
Maybe even whatever's on sale that week.
Oh, absolutely. And seasonal vegetables should be really good price or something. And another thing that can be added to vegetables that works really well and could be a layer in that could be leftover roasted vegetables. That's an ingredient, and that would add a really nice flavor too. So there really is no limit. And the same can be true with, say, roasted chicken or salmon or something that you can use in your salad too. So the ingredients are really unlimited. But the important thing is to make sure that it's well chilled when it goes together, that it stays chilled throughout the carrying process, and that it gets in a refrigerator, even if it has that ice pack, if it's at all possible.
And even though we think of spring and summer as being kind of salad weather, this is really good all year round.
Well, I think it's really good to get in the habit of thinking of the salad as the center of the plate on which we add a portion of protein or bread or carbohydrate along with it, but that if the center of the plate is fruits and vegetables, that really gets to some of the basic nutrition behavior change that we're trying to encourage people to think of, is really make that the center of the plate and add on those other great ingredients in lesser amounts to enhance that fruit and vegetable base.
And I like the idea when you're doing, especially the brown bag, is you can make it however you want because you're really just pleasing yourself. You're not making it for the whole family. It's just for you, and you can mix and match and really do some experimentation.
That's exactly right. And, if there's a little of this and something of that, you can build a salad. Then you may never have seen one like it before, and it may never appear exactly like this again, but makes for a great and interesting lunch. And it gets us off of that same-o that I don't know if everybody does, but I have a tendency when I pack a lunch sometimes to get in a real brown bag rut. And this would be a good way to sort of branch out.
And this is something that they could pass on to the children as well. Kids do like salad. I know people are going to find that hard to believe, but they do.
Well, now you're touching on another subject that I think has really been proven out. We have seen that a lot of the additional fruits and vegetables that have been added in school lunch particularly are really well received when a child has a chance to sort of put that salad together or to go through the salad bar and make those selections themselves. And so this might be a project for lunch packing or a big enough jar that you could split if you're going on a picnic or a hike or something that would be salad for two or more.
That's K-State Research and Extension Nutrition Specialist Sandy Procter. More information on health and nutrition is available at county and district extension offices and on the extension website ksre.ksu.edu. Sound Living is a weekly public affairs program produced by Research and Extension at Kansas State University. I'm Jeff Wichman, and this is the K-State Radio Network.